Tell me some things you would tell a young person who's interested in getting involved in, political journalism. What would you tell them?
Well, first, I have people ask me this regularly, young people who somehow get referred to me and ask for advice. And the first thing I say, look, AI is going to absolutely reshape this entire industry. So whatever you study, do it knowing full well that the industry is going to be transformed more in the next few years than it probably has been in the last 200 years. So, I always urge people, don't like tie your life to knowing some particular skill or something, because ultimately AI is going to really be transformative here, and that's more true in journalism than probably anything else. People don't realize a lot of the articles and news they're reading now is already being produced by AI. Sometimes they slap a person's byline on there. So with that in mind, I do think relationships are going to be critical no matter what industry you're in. Especially in something like what I do, journalism on these types of topics. Relationships are going to be the most important thing, I think, going forward, because an AI can write an article better than a person, far faster than a person, but they can't replicate the relationships, and they can't get the same information, right? One of the things that I specialize in terms of journalism is getting information that other people don't have, that powerful people don't want out, and bringing it to public attention. And you can't do that by reading the fake news. You have to have the contacts within the UN, within the government, within the industries, within the NGOs. And without those contacts, without those sources, all you can do is just read the press releases and read the fake media and regurgitate it on your blog, which is totally worthless. Don't even bother with your time. So I'd say divine providence. Follow God's call on your life. Where He leads you, you should go joyfully. And make sure you're really investing in relationships. Skills are important, but with AI emerging so quickly, I think skills are going to be less important, and relationships are going to be more important.
On that note, AI is calling, right, data that's in the system. And a lot of the data that our firm, F Street Partners, and what you're doing with so many of your organizations is not mainstream information. So sometimes you'll put stuff into a database, or you want to call stuff out of that database, Chat GPT or what have you, Grok, and you kind of get mainstream answers to things, right? And I feel like we've done it here, um, where you are writing copy or an article or congressional testimony or whatever it is, and what you get back is it's halfway there, but you really have to drill on it a little bit. You there is work for, and of course we're right of center, and we're censored, and we're deplatformed, and we're doxxed, and all that sort of thing. The other thing I would say is, what is your would you agree with that? What would you what would you think? What do you think about that proposition?
Absolutely, man. I think what you just said is so important for people to understand. And that's one of the great dangers, that our young people are increasingly turning their brains off and just handing all their thinking over to AI. And AI is garbage in, garbage out, just like with any computer program. If the AI is trained on garbage data, fake news, climate nonsense, Marxism, propaganda, it's going to spit out answers that reflect that input. And so one of the things that's absolutely critical for young people is be well read. Spend the time, read the books, get subscriptions to good sources of information like the New American Magazine. Read the old encyclopedia. Like when my children are doing research projects, Google and AI. Well, Google's out of the question. We use other search engines, but AI is a very last resort. The first task is, what does the encyclopedia say? What do the different books about this that we have in our library say? Because that's where you're still going to be able to find better information. And it's really critical for people to understand that as AI takes over more and more of thinking and research.